So thanks very much for joining us, Steve.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.
So you're in the car now. Where you're off to?
Just went for a spin in town to get a tea. I'm self-cocooning, quarantining, but in my own car. So
so
strange. But the guards never bother me or anything. They stop me once or twice, but they're kind of like, as long as you're not interacting with people, you're all right. So they kind of the celebrity gets you away with certain things. You know what I mean?
So are you? What restrictions are in place right there now? Are you only allowed to go out once a day, or is it similar to what's happening in the UK?
You can exercise once. You can exercise once a day. They just recently increased it from 2 kilometers to 5 kilometers from your house, and you can obviously visit the shops to get supplies and things like that. But it's pretty restricted. It'll be similar enough to yours over there.
It's interesting the different views on it. Like that sounds sensible to me. Putting a limit on how far you can go from your house, whereas we've never done that here, have we, Greg? It's just a free for all, especially now. You know, going out around the city now, it's like an absolute free for all.
We had the lockdown a lot earlier as well. Then because I remember thinking like, Jesus Christ, people in Britain are still going to school, and we were thinking it was just insane. So, but you've passed 30,000 deaths now, which is just fucking. Yeah. It's horrific, like, you know what I mean? We've nearly 1,500, but population-wise, it's pretty similar, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, there's been a perception here, especially some parts of the media, that like looking round to our nearest, so looking at the Republic, it's like, what are they doing differently that's made it still appalling, but not as bad, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously going into lockdown earlier was key, wasn't it?
I'd say so, yeah. But I suppose the jury's still out on it too, in a way, isn't it? Whether some countries are not doing it, and they seem to be, but it could be just coincidental. You know, it mightn't be as a direct result of lockdown or non-lockdown. You know, it's hard to know. I suppose a lot of this will come out with investigations in the future when it's all over. Hopefully, if it ever will be.
Yeah, and it's difficult to compare country to country. I mean, I am originally from Northern Ireland, and I spend a lot of time there with relatives near the border, and it's so.
Can I just interrupt?
Go on.
Can I just interrupt for a sec? Did anyone ever tell you look like Tony Cascarino?
No.
No. Just throwing that out there.
First for everything, yeah.
A light-hearted relief to
the. Yeah, so, you know, you see how sparsely populated it is there. You know, my uncle, who lives in a little place called Plumbridge, his next door neighbours are like miles away, you know what I mean? So it's difficult to compare situations, you know, especially when you're looking at.
Well, like Dublin. Yeah, Dublin, I think we have 25,000 cases or something. Dublin have about 12,000 of them. It's nearly all in the east. Here in Galway, we've only had, like, I'd say about 500 cases. So, like, we're pretty lucky that we're not a huge city. We're like 80,000 or something, but we're away from all the big cities in the east, and we're away from Cork. So we're kind of all right, you know what I mean? We're doing good. So
I've been to Galway, Stevo, and it's an amazing place to go on the ale with all that street where there's loads of boozers there. So are people missing the pubs? Is there anywhere doing sort of little, where they've pivoted and they're doing deliveries of Guinness and that?
No, just off licenses are open. That's about it, and people are drinking at home. So,
okay,
plenty of house parties.
How's it affected your kind of your livelihood, your job, performing? Is it a case of, obviously you can't do anything live, so what have you been? Have you responded to
that? Just scraping by, I suppose. All income has ceased, so whatever little tiny bit of YouTube decide to throw you as what you're basically living on. So, but look, as I said in another interview before, you can't really complain. I haven't lost anyone near to me. No one is sick, so you know what I mean. In the grand scheme of things, I'll survive. Like, you know what I mean.
Is YouTube? It's funny. Me and Adam were talking earlier. Like, you know, you've got unbelievable views on YouTube, and I think there's a general kind of outsiders would imagine that equates to like millions of pounds in income, and
Yeah, yeah.
Is it not like that really?
Oh God, no. I think you'd have to have 1 million. I read someplace you'd have to have 1 million subscribers, all your videos monetized, and most of your subscribers viewing your videos to earn the average US industrial wage. And I've 230,000, and a lot of the videos are unmonetized due to the like content, or because I say a curse word or usual shit like that. So a lot of them are unmonetized as well. So like you'd be $50 a week maybe.
Really?
Barely enough to fill petrol in the car, more or less. Like.
And then you've got some 6-year-old kid in Ohio unwrapping presents and earning like $4 billion a year.
Yeah. I'm thinking of just doing something like that, or becoming one of those gamers and just go, whoa, look, I'm playing a game. Give me fucking millions. Farmer Michael.
With your headset.
Farmer Michael plays Super Mario Brothers or something really old school like that. It might actually catch on. I was thinking about doing it before, but in a real parody, pull the piss out of those twats away. You know what I mean?
It's not a bad idea. One wonderful thing you are doing though is you're doing this wonderful thing for the Irish Wheelchair Association, where you're amazingly getting back on a bike following your accident a few years ago. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that?
I don't know if it's amazing or whether it's a kamikaze mission. I haven't made up my mind yet. Yeah, like I have a long history association with them because my mother was a full-time wheelchair user, and she died 5 years ago, but they were always really good to her. And obviously my own disability, I crashed a motorbike 15 years ago and broke my neck and my back, and I was paralyzed from the chest down, regained limited mobility. So I was going to do I was kind of thinking about doing something like that to keep me focused and keep me doing something, during the lockdown and stuff. And I was going to do kind of a few kilometers, maybe 1 or 2 kilometers on the exercise bike. Then I increased it to 5, and then I said, look, fuck it, I'm going to do it on a real bike in the real world. So that that's how it all started.
Bloody hell, mate. So what's it been like then, getting back on? And in terms of have you been falling off? Have you been mentally? How have you sort of prepared for it?
I haven't fallen off, and I don't think I will, because before this I was always I was a BMXer, and I used to do tricks and stuff, and I used to do mountain bike tricks as well. So I've good balance. I suppose it's more of a case of just building up the strength in my legs. You feel vulnerable because when you're on a bike, when you can't really feel the rest of your body from the chest down, it feels like you're just a head and 2 arms up 6 foot, and that if you fall, you're only going to be able to stop yourself either with your hands or your face. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of way. So like when I first got off the bike there the last day and I took a little spin around the estate, you felt really, really vulnerable and kind of scared. Like it was kind of unnerving, but you get used to it then, and it kind of you get a bit more confident as we go. But we're only up to a kilometer on the real bike, and we're up to 3 on the exercise bike. So there's a bit to go, but it's my weekend now, so I'm enjoying it till tomorrow, till I get beaten into doing it again. So
what did your kind of physio consist of before? I take it you've well leaped forward in what you should be doing in general terms.
It's kind of hard to know. Sometimes I feel like I let myself go and didn't keep it up, and I kind of plateaued. And then when you plateau, even when I was intense physio at the beginning, and I used to steal crutches out of the hospital gym and go off in the car park on my own, and I used to get my dad would be called up to the hospital because they'd be threatening to kick me out because I was being a danger to myself. But I was driven to get back on my feet, because obviously my spine, it was incomplete, so there was a good chance of me being able to move my legs again, as opposed to a complete injury where your spinal cord is severed. You will never walk, no matter what, willpower or not, you know what I mean? So I was kind of very stubborn, but then I kept pushing, and I reached this plateau where it was kind of I'm not getting any better. This is the top I will get. And then when you kind of accept that, you almost get depressed and you start to revert a bit. And then you just slowly but surely, as putting on weight or whatever, aging, it just happens to spite you, you know what I mean? So
is depression something that is higher, more prevalent in people who are recovering from those sorts of life-changing accidents?
Oh God, yeah, without a doubt. Anyone with a physical disability. Like, the world is not made for you, so you were out of place immediately. You were not one of the in group. So like, it's like most people I talk to that have a disability, they'd always have battles with depression or anxiety or social anxiety, phobias, things like that, because the world is not made for us. You know, it's like I used to read philosophy before, and one fella said if the cities were in the sky, those without wings would be the ones left out. So they'd be considered disabled. You know, so
Wow. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. So have you been learning, any new tricks, getting up to any new things in the lockdown?
not really. I was just writing a bit of music, and that's about it. And doing the odd video. I suppose the last month has been all the bike. It's been all the cycle. It's been all trying to get every celeb I know, plaguing them like, here, just do me a fucking video. It's only going to take you 10 seconds. Just say, blah, 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 Stevo's 5K cycle, go support him. You can call me a cunt or whatever, just do the video, you know what I mean? So we got, like, obviously, I hunted down Tyson Fury and Ricky Hatton, got Seamus Coleman, of course, got Paul McGrath, got Joey Barton, and he spoke in his actual accent. Don French retweeted it, and a few big other people retweeted it, and a few other people done videos. Forgive me, I can't think of the names off the head, but like the support has been amazing, and just everyone like donating, because everyone's suffering, you know what I mean? And like loads of donations. It's not just Irish people donating. It's loads of Liverpool people and loads of Irish people over in Britain. So like, it's lovely to see as well the kind of Evertonians like going like, fucking fair play to you, lad. Here's 50 quid and stuff. You know, it's touching. You know what I mean? It really is that.
You've got like a real affinity with the city of Liverpool, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But as soon as we started kind of doing the videos and they picked up on them, it was almost immediate. And when we went over the first time and went to Goodison, and like, it took us about 2 hours to get from like around the corner of I think it's 37, the kind of infamous Goodison house, to our seat, because everyone was stopping us for pictures. And the weird thing as well is some people came over and were like, I hate your videos, but fair play for doing what you're doing. Which you would never get in Ireland. If they hate your videos, they hate you as a person, and you're a fucking wanker, and they want nothing got to do with you. You know what I mean? They preclude that you are the person in the videos, as opposed to being like a comedic actor or a sketch person. You know what I mean? So it was a strange thing, but like, yeah, the people over there are just like brilliant to us, and on both sides, obviously, like red and blue. You know what I mean? So I think we irk some Reds a bit too much, but like, fuck it, it's in the name of fun. You know what I mean? Like, and I have to, as an Evertonian, you have to do it. You know what I mean? It's in. If you don't pull the piss out of Liverpool, then you're not a proper Evertonian, are you?
100%, absolutely. So, what are the plans going forward then? Sort of coming out of this period of lockdown for you. Did you have a few gigs cancelled?
We had loads of gigs cancelled. I think we had about 10, 15 left on our Irish tour. The last one was, ironically enough, in Galway, and the lockdown was like called a week after that. So Cork was cancelled, Limerick was cancelled, Belfast was sold out, and we were going to put on another show. Obviously, that didn't happen. Both cancelled. A few smaller gigs around Navan and places like that. We had one in Dublin, of course, all cancelled. So they're like, some of them are rescheduled now. Some of them we're waiting to get rescheduled because dates are all over the place, and obviously trying to get through to people that are working in the theatres to reschedule is a battle in itself. So we were meant to come over to Liverpool and Manchester and Nottingham and a few places kind of around that, Sheffield and things like that, on October the 6th, because we're doing the Southport Comedy Festival, and we wanted to arrange a few shows around that. And we're kind of holding out now because we don't want to go booking theatres and losing a deposit of like 1,500 sterling, which, you know, for 8 shows, you're fucked then, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So we're going to hold out, and hopefully, you know, you're just worried, like, because if we put them on, say, July or August, you then have a month and a half to sell a couple of hundred tickets, and people won't have money as well, and people mightn't come to shows. So it's kind of your catch-22, really. Like, what do? You know what I mean? So we'll have to see, but we have to finish the Irish tour anyway, and we'll figure our way around it. So
I don't know whether it would apply to Ireland, but they've put in this 2-week quarantine thing now, haven't they, in the UK? So anyone who comes into the UK for the time being from abroad would have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine before they're able to go about the business.
Yeah,
So,
I seen that. I seen that in the news this morning, but it's not between the UK and Ireland. So you can come over here, we can go over there. So
right.
that's a good thing, thank God, because like we couldn't afford to do that. We literally bringing myself and Sinead over and 3 support acts and put us in accommodation for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks on top of that for the gigs themselves, and you know what I mean, paying for like sound equipment on the night, paying the rent charges for the theater. Like you'd be down so much money, you'd be fucked, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it just wouldn't work, would it?
No. And it goes back to the whole thing, people think you're a multi-millionaire, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ, you're getting all that money from the shows, and you're like, no, there's a lot more to it than that, you know?
Hey, listen, I saw on Twitter a few weeks ago now, what was it with those lads in Galway by you? Were they coming out the pub?
Just sitting in their square, and he came over and opened the door and started calling me a cripple and a faggot. So just one of those things that happens. And about 3 days ago outside Sinead's house, the same thing happened. A fellow went past and he goes, there's that faggoty bastard in his faggoty car. And then Sinead called him out in it, and he got aggressive, and then I called him out in it at the back, and he came over to the car, stuck his head in through the window. I opened the car door at him and said, like, do you want to fight a cripple? Because I'd say that's the type of person you are, a good brave hero that'd fight a crippled man. And he was like, fuck you or whatever. And then I went around the block to get a picture of him, and he freaked out, tried to drag me out of the car. Sinead ran out of the car, confronted him. Then he stopped another car. He was foaming at the mouth. Like he was either on coke or he was smoking crack. He was like, or he was mentally unstable. There was definitely something wrong with him. But it's sadly a common occurrence, like, because you're in the public eye or public property, and people feel like they should have the right to verbally abuse you at any time.
One positive might be that because you've been very open about it on Twitter, and people are aware that, like, you know, the guards have been speaking to you and stuff like that, it might deter more dickheads in future. So it might just be a couple of isolated incidents, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking. The more you call these lads out, the more you publicly fucking shame them on Facebook and things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it seems to be the last time I did it, I was getting apologies from them and their mothers, and they were giving all sorts of reasons why it was happening. And, you know, but then the latest one happened, and that was up to notch. So I'm just I'm realistically waiting for the next one where I will be physically attacked, unfortunately. And I can nearly foresee it happen. But I will defend myself. If it comes to that, I will defend myself. You're allowed to defend yourself in Ireland. We used to have the fallback law where you had to retreat. Now you're allowed to defend yourself. So if it comes to that, I will defend myself to the best of my abilities, because I'm not going to be, if I'm dragged out of the car by someone, I will not be able to defend myself. I won't be able to fight back, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm on the ground. I can't get up and jump and kick, you know, so I can punch his shins, but that's not going to stop him, you know, so.
So hopefully you don't have to even think about that in this day and age, Stevo, especially with some of the wonderful things that you're doing.
I know, it's sad that, you know, you have to have that in the back of your head. While, like I said it to Sinead the last day, I said, Jesus Christ, all we do is make videos for the crack on Facebook. That's all we do. If you bring it down to a base level, that's all we do. And there shouldn't be harassment involved in that. But that's life, you know what I mean? And it seems to happen in our own city more than anything, I suppose, because we're more visible and we're more around. And I'm known, you know, but I don't know. It's strange. It's very strange. It's never happened any other place.
I've seen, like, me and Adam always talk about, like, social media, the good and the bad side of it. And I suppose the good side of it is the way that, you know, you're going to do your bike ride, you're going to smash it. And because you're well known, you'll be able to galvanise a lot of support from across the world.
Absolutely, yeah. I would have raised maybe 200 or 300 euro through family and friends if I didn't have the Facebook and Twitter following.
Stevo, it is sad. It's there's a lot of idiots out there, but you're able to maintain this wonderful positive attitude and go out and deliver comedy to people, and now you're doing this wonderful charity thing. Have you sort of sat there and you know, purposely give yourself this sort of stoic I'm just going to keep going forward. I've been delivered these setbacks, and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep going. And what is it? What is it you think you can pinpoint about you that's made you be able to do that, whereas other people would have struggled?
Complete fucking stubbornness, I'd say, and the ability to not let a wanker win, like, because like the amount of messages we get on a daily basis, and I know like we are evolutionary predisposed to like look at, you'd see 1,000 comments, 99 whatever blah 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 are positive, and you will see the one, and that will stick with you because we're predisposed to see the danger, that the tiger in the grass. You bypass you see the negative one that stands out, that gets into your head. So like you deal with that at the beginning, the kind of poisonous nature of that and the threatening messages and stuff, which have happened a lot, and people making up fake Twitter pages about my brother, Jamie the vegetable, and putting up pictures of fruits and stuff, and and you're like, what would make a person do that? You know what I mean? You're kind of, but then you kind of get over that and you realize, like, obviously them people, like, they really need help. They're there to be pitied, like, because for someone to do that, they're obviously not happy in their lives. Happy people don't take down people.
Yeah.
Happy people help people. You know what I mean? They, like, whatever, like, we all slag people. Say when we're in town, we see someone funny looking or whatever. We all slag someone. We all do that. You can't deny that we do that. But no one would ever do that to someone else's face. Well, I wouldn't. Like, the people I know, my friends, we wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? But these people seem to do. Like, if you're not going to say it to someone's face, don't say it online. And if you're going to say it online, be prepared for it to be brought up to your face. So, you know what I mean? 100%. And we've had death threats and every sort of thing. That's fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? As I said, we're just doing videos in the car for the crack. Leave us alone. I suppose, yeah, going back to the initial question before I went off on a ranty tangent, I suppose surviving my injury and getting back up my feet it gave me a kind of a strength that, like, fucking hell, man, I survived that. Like, nothing can do that to me now. Even if someone threatened to come over and fucking kick me to death, like, fine. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there, I've done that, I've experienced more pain than you can inflict on me that I've done myself to my own body. So you can do fuck all to me, so.
Is that, like, does that attitude and that stoicism, is that what makes you, because you were saying earlier that you're not naturally an extrovert, like, you wouldn't, some people would just walk on a stage and wouldn't think anything of it, would they? They'd be naturally able to.
I hate them people. I hate them with envy.
Yes, same, yeah. So whereas I, like you, I mean, I'd get nervous and it wouldn't be something that would come naturally to me.
Yeah.
And I guess you're similar, and yet you're able to do it and make a living of it. I think it's brilliant. So admirable that you've managed to do that.
I think you deal with the upcoming panic, and you try your best to kind of compose yourself and maybe take a Valium or a Xanax if it's getting to that. Like, often before a show, like, we done the Southport Comedy Festival last year, and I had a massive panic attack outside, and it got so severe that my legs started shaking and it got my spasms going, and I wasn't physically able to walk in the crutches. So the lads had to lift me in the wheelchair. There was no wheelchair ramp to get on the stage, so they had to break the top off a table, get duct tape to make a ramp, and push me onto the stage. But I managed to get in there and do it. But, like, once you're up on the stage and it's 5-10 seconds into the routine, the panic is gone. It's subsided. I'm in control now. All these people here are listening to me. I own this room. I'm going to control their future thoughts. I'm going to, like, I can literally control what they're going to be thinking in the next second with this joke. Or I'm literally going to be hearing them going, oh, in a second. You know what I mean? So I suppose once I become Michael, I am Michael, if you will, and I have Michael's confidence on the stage. But obviously there's the few hours before that, or like the last time we were over, we were staying in Liverpool, like, and a few people visited me, Speedo Mick and a few friends and things, like, and I wasn't able to talk to them in the room. They had to visit and come into the bedroom because I was still in bed. I wasn't able to leave the room because I was very, I wouldn't say panicky, but just a very high level of anxiety for 8 or 9 hours kind of thing. So there's a lot of that, but you just push on, you know what I mean? The alternative is death, and I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So, you know, you just have to keep fucking pushing yourself. And I have thought about it. Like, let's be honest, you probably know about that. I'm quite open about it, but I'm not ready for it just yet. So I'll keep pushing and.
Good.
Very nice close.
That's really good to hear. Stevo, we're talking on a day when Greg and I were just talking before you come on about like there's another message come out this morning which is really ambiguous from our government about they've changed from stay home to stay alert, and there's going to be an announcement later on. And there's rightly, in most cases, a lot of criticism for our government here. What's the perception like over in Ireland of how we've handled it?
Well, as you know, like most people in Ireland, given our history, we wouldn't be a fan of the Tory party anyway. Like, I don't know if you know, but the name Tory comes from Irish Tory, which means pirate. So the name is of Irish origin. So you can look it up. It's true because people will question it. But I think it's Torai father DH, Toray. So anyway, but it comes from pirate. So I think we look at it a bit kind of like you were fucking, you know, took your eyes off the ball kind of thing. You know, they took their eyes off the ball and they went down the Trump route that, oh, look, it'll dissipate after a while and you'll be fine. But like, I think now there's a kind of a thing of like, first it was stay at home and now you said like stay alert. And are they going to open it up already? And what effect will that have? Will the cases go back up rising again and you'll have to be in a full Italian style lockdown in 3 or 4 weeks? Or, you know, not that our government is doing any better. We despise the government that are in there at the moment. They're Fine Gael. They're basically, they're called the blue shirts. They started as like the nearest thing we had to a Nazi party. You know what I mean? So we're not big fans of them, like, you know, so, but I suppose what they've done, which is a bit smarter and cynical, if you will, they've laid out their like phased plan. So on May the 18th, this is going to open. In 2 weeks after that, these things are going to open. So it's, I suppose, when people were getting a bit restless, now they have they have a bit of a time frame. So they're a bit more, I suppose, relaxed and they know what's happening. So it might be a cynical move. It probably is known Fine Gael, but you know, I suppose people are a bit less restless because of that. They know what's going to open when. But that could turn in a week if cases skyrocketed, you know. So
listen, very good luck with your 5K ride. We'll pop the link in there to donate. And amazing, keep doing what you're doing. Stay positive.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it big time.
Nice one,
Lovely speaking to you, mate.
Take care, mate.
Lovely talking to you, man. Take care. Thank you for having me on. Bye.
Nice one.
Ta-ra.
See you, pal.